So now you know the names of the letters, we're going to be able to tune your harp. Very exciting. You're going to need 3 things. The first is a tuning key, the second is an app, and the third is a lot of time. It will take a while, maybe 30 minutes. That's okay. You'll get faster, but be nice to yourself and allocate a budget of time for this task. Okay? So, one little caveat. I want you to promise me that you will never let this tuning key on a tuning pin without keeping your hand on it. And the reason for that is because they can fall off. And when they fall off, they're directly above your delicate, important soundboard and they have some metal on them. So you can actually slightly damage your soundboard if you're not careful with your tuning key. Okay? So watch out for that. So without further ado, I want you to go and download an app. There's loads of them out there. One I find useful at the moment is called ClearTune, but there's lots of really decent apps out there that will do the job. And set it so that it's listening to your harp. So we're going to start off with the very lowest string now. So we're going to start off with our bottom string. The next important thing to remember when tuning is that you have the tuning key on the appropriate pin. Okay, so I'm going to use my eye and my left finger to trace the bottom string, the C, up until I find the tuning pin at the very top of that. And then I'm going to get this key and I'm going to fix it on that pin. So just watch out, because you'll realize that when you have, for example, 2 white strings together, the pin that's on top of the E string is actually belonging to the D string. So just make sure you double check your key is on the appropriate pin for the string you're plucking. So anyway, you have your app and you have it open and you're listening to your harp string, and I would use my left hand to pluck the red string, the C string. And then if I make a little clockwise movement to the right, that sound will go up. If I make a little anti-clockwise movement or to the left, that sound will go down. Okay? Always make small little movements, or otherwise you run the risk of essentially just putting too much pressure on the string too fast and snapping a string. It's not the end of the world if it happens, but obviously we want to avoid it if possible. So you're going to see that your needle on your app will be going towards the C or away, and if you bring the tuning key in micro movements to the clockwise side, that needle will begin to go to what's called sharp or above the note, and if you go anti-clockwise, it will go flat or below the note. Okay, and your goal is to have the needle hit exactly where the note is. Sometimes tuning apps light up when that happens. They go green or red or something. So best of luck with finding your C and making sure it's in tune. Should be around there. So now you know how to tune one string. We're going to go ahead and tune the whole harp. So firstly, I just need to do one final warning. Some harps have a device on the top of some of the strings or all of the strings which presses against it and raises the pitch. So for example, this is C, and when I put this lever at the top of the string upward, it turns into, oh my god, C, half a step up. The posh name for that is C sharp, but don't worry, you just need to know it's C, one step up, okay? And then I can bring it down again. And I'm back to C normal. The posh music term for that is C natural. But don't worry, we usually are lazy and just call it C. Okay? So you might have nothing up here, which is totally fine. You might have a lever that looks like this, in which case you want to make sure it's down when you're tuning. You might have a thing called a blade, which is a flat piece of metal that when you twist it, it rubs against the string and brings the string higher. If you have a blade, make sure it's in the vertical position so it's not touching the string. And then finally, if you have a pilgrim harp, then they have a very different levering system and you have to put the lever up so it's disengaged. Okay? But the short story is the vast majority of you will probably have levers. And if you have a lever, put it down when you tune the harp. So you heard me mention the word sharp. I'm just going to expand on that for a second. So remember that we have our C here. So this is C, no weird symbols, no other words attached to it, plain old C. The official musical term for this is C natural. If we put the lever on top upward, it raises the pitch by half a step and it becomes C sharp. Sharp just means that it's half a step up, and the symbol for it is a hashtag, a little hashtag beside the note. Now, if I were to play this note, B, listen to that. It doesn't have a lever on my harp, but just listen to me sing it. This is a B, and if I were to go half a step down, that is called a B flat. So the official musical term for half a step down is flat. And to signify that, we have a little slightly pointed B shape beside the note. Okay? So now you know what a sharp and a flat is. Let's discuss how I would like you to tune your harp. Well, you've already been fantastic and you've tuned this C to C natural. Okay? It'll sound like this. Now I want you to go next door and tune your D, and that's going to be tuned to D natural, or just plain old D. No weird symbols, just D. This is what it'll sound like. Next, you're going to go next door and you're going to tune your E string, and I would like you to tune that to E natural, just normal E, no weird symbols beside it. It'll sound like this. Next, I want you to go next door to your F string, and I want you to tune this to F natural, plain F, totally normal F, no weird symbols beside it. It'll sound like this. Then you're going to go next door and you're going to tune your G string. And I don't want anything except G natural. That's all I want. G natural, totally normal G, no weird symbols beside it. It'll sound like this. Next, you're going to go next door and you're going to find your A string. You're going to tune that to A natural. No weird stuff, no funny symbols, just A. And now this is where we get interesting. For the purposes of this course, I would like you, when you get to your B string, to do something a little different. So we're on our B string now, and instead of tuning it to B, natural B, you're going to tune it to B flat. So it'll be B with a little mini B up in the top right corner, and it'll sound like this. Okay? B flat. Please tune all of your B strings to B flat. Now we're going to repeat that cycle. So you've got C natural, D natural, E natural, F natural, G natural, A natural. Then we have another B flat. B flat. Then we're going to have C natural, D natural, E natural, F natural, G natural, A natural. Watch out, we're going to have a B flat, B flat, C natural, D, E natural, F, and G natural. And just to clarify, G natural is the same as G. Natural just means normal or as is. Okay, so I can say G natural or G. They both mean the same thing. So, well done. This will have taken you around 30 minutes, or you're about to start the 30 minutes, but you are about to tune your harp for the first time. So exciting. Can't wait to see you with your harp tuned, and then we'll get to learning our first tune.